Problems arise, do they not? Sometimes they come in the multitudes, right? And what do we want to do? Some of us run away, some of us hide, some of us pretend they're not there. Others still, we take immediate impulsive action. We race right to it, with bravery, or some of us maybe even strategize. We think, all right, we see this problem and we know it exists. So let's form a plan. Let's formulate a plan to resolve, to find an answer, a resolution, right? And some of these ideas may work better than others for us. I was reading from the Bible again, and so it's interesting that I came across a story of a king that found himself in the midst of, well, a big problem. So I want to go ahead and read from First Chronicles chapter 14. I want to read from starting at verse 8, and just follow the narrative and see if some of the situations I mentioned have anything to do with this story. Ready? Let's read. First Chronicles 14 verse 8. It says, And when the Philistines heard that David was anointed king over all Israel, all the Philistines went up to seek David, and David heard of it, and went out against them. And the Philistines came and spread themselves in the valley of Rephaim. And David inquired of God, saying, Shall I go up against the Philistines? And wilt thou deliver them into mine hand? And the Lord said unto him, Go up, for I will deliver them into thine hand. So they went up to Baal Perazim, and David smote them there. And David said, God hath broken in upon mine enemies by mine hand like the breaking forth of waters. Therefore they called the name of that place Baal Perazim. And when they had left their gods there, David gave a commandment, and they were burned with fire. And the Philistines yet again spread themselves abroad in the valley. Therefore David inquired again of God. And God said unto him, Go not up after them, turn away from them, and come upon them over against the mulberry trees. And it shall be, when thou shalt hear a sound of going in the tops of the mulberry trees, that then thou shalt go out to battle. For God is gone forth before thee to smite the host of the Philistines. David therefore did as God commanded him, and they smote the host of the Philistines from Gibeon even to Gazer. And the fame of David went out into all lands, and the Lord brought the fear of him upon all nations. Now, there's a few things. Notice that there was a problem, and the first thing you might have noticed is that not once, but twice, David inquired of God, What shall I do? Shall I go up? Shall I not go up? The first time he was told, Go up. Did David listen, yes or no? He did. Second time, he was told, Do not go up. Did David listen? This is true again. Of course, there was a plan B, not to go up the same way, but do it this way. And David again listened. But maybe some of us are thinking, I don't have that direct connection to God. I'm not a prophet, right? But friends, need I say more? There's problems, there's ways to resolve them, there's ways to approach them, there's situations all across life. And I want to suggest to you, it is the best idea that we go ahead and first inquire of God. How do we do it? So, with that said, I wanted to highlight also verse 16 where it says, David therefore did as the Lord commanded him. Friends, when you read, are you going to do as the Lord commands? Or are we going to, continue and maintain our own points of view because we know what's best, right? Many times with our own experience. And I'm not saying experience is a bad thing. It's a good thing. Use it. But use it in context of this. This is the authority, right, Christians? Now, it's very interesting that David wasn't the only one with this lifestyle, right? There's a few things we can also learn if we go to the book of Exodus chapter 33. I want you to notice the following. Exodus 33, and we're wrapping up. See, because there was another individual by the name of Moses, and see, he had this task of leading people, and this is very special because, wow, man, these people were quite challenging sometimes to work with, right? And so Moses inquires of God. Let's pick it up with verse 12. All right, and we'll read this short narrative and then conclude. It says, Exodus 33, verse 12, And Moses said unto the Lord, See, thou sayest unto me, bring up this people. And thou hast not let me know whom thou wilt send with me. Yet thou hast said, I know thee by name, and thou hast also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray thee, if I have found grace in thy sight, show me now thy way, that I may know thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, and consider that this nation is thy people. Verse 14, and he said, my presence shall go with thee, and I will give thee rest. And he said unto him, if thy presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. Wow, what words of Moses. See, he was so concerned that first check in with God and have his presence go with him. If God was not going to move with Moses, Moses didn't want to go anywhere. What an example, right? What an example that of King David. Problems arising left and right. And David inquired of God more than once. And then he was willing to do what he was commanded. Hope that is our experience, not only today, but friends, let's read this. Let's apply it. Wonderful things will arise. God indeed is faithful. He is with us.